Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor,
My name's Hunter too.
and we are 2 weekends into SEC play, and it is just no fun to be a Mississippi State baseball fan right now. So we really appreciate you coming on and listening to this episode. I'm not sure what you're expecting us to say, but we're going to get into it in a little while, talking about the Vanderbilt series, talking about what we think should happen moving forward as we go even further into SEC play, and just downhill is what it seems like. But
Yeah,
we'll talk
hot
about
seat me for like 3 weeks ago, being like, I can't wait for 3 weeks in the SEC play.
something big is happening this weekend in 3 weeks ago Hunter's mind. So yeah, what we're going to talk about the coaching situation. Obviously, I mean that's the elephant in the room. Like, who should be fired? Should anybody be fired? Who should we bring in if someone is fired? So we're obviously going to get into all that. And we didn't post a prompt for Instagram questions because we kind of figured that's what all the questions would be about. So we're going to get into all that, talking about the Vanderbilt series and what things are going to look like moving forward. But first, let's start out with some AI motivation. This will be our only episode for the week, so I know this is usually a Friday morning tradition, but we're going to just have it now because it's our favorite thing to do. And we didn't want to miss an opportunity to get AI to give us a little motivation. So here we go. Some fans are right and justified. They want to see a change. They know the pitching coach is to blame. They want him out of range. He can't develop pitchers. He can't fix their flaws. He can't handle the pressure. He can't follow the laws. He should be fired. He should be shown the door. He should be replaced by someone else. He should be gone for sure. That's really fair. That's really wise. That's really the solution. That's really the prize. He doesn't need more time. He doesn't need more support. He doesn't need more patience. And he doesn't need more report. Firing him is the answer. Firing him is the key. Firing him is the best move. Firing him is the way to be. Can you believe that the university we graduated from gave us a platform and gave us a shout out, and now we're saying this about one of their employees?
No, we're not saying this is AI.
It's AI. Yeah,
AI?
I mean, I'm just
reading
unbiased.
it. You're just
I'm
reading.
just an unbiased reader.
Are you going to read it from Scott Foxhall's perspective?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
From Scott Foxhall's perspective, I'm the pitching coach of the Bulldogs. I have a tough job to do. I have to train and guide my pitchers. I have to help them through. I know we're in a slump. I know we're losing games. I know we're giving up too many runs. I know we're facing blames. But I'm doing my best. I'm working hard every day. I'm trying to find solutions. I'm trying to find a way. I love this team and this program. I love this sport and game. I love this challenge and this opportunity. I love this passion and this flame. I don't want to be fired. I don't want to be let go. I don't want to be replaced by someone else. I don't want to be a no-show. I want to stay and fight. I want to stay and improve. I want to stay and succeed. I want to stay and groove. Well, there you go. Jeez. All right.
That's the best segment. I don't know if people like it or not, but
Regardless, we're going to continue it.
it's the best thing.
All right. So we're going to look back at this Vanderbilt series, and honestly, from the very beginning, it was just ugly. I mean, you can look at the final scores, and obviously, yeah, it was bad, but there was decision making in all three games that really just, I mean, it was just poorly played, poorly pitched. We hit poorly, we pitched poorly, we defended poorly, coached poorly. It was all bad. I mean, every aspect of the weekend was bad. And Sunday, obviously, it was close, but we're still going to talk about some ways that it was mismanaged pitching wise. And yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt just killed us. So I'm going to go ahead and get into some of this.
Okay.
So right now, 0-6 in SEC play. It is our worst start since 1952. This time last year, just this is just a little deep dive I did this time last year. Obviously, we're 3-3 in SEC play. We had lost a series to Georgia and bounced back and won our home opener against Alabama. Won that series. At this point last year, in all games, not just SEC play, but in all games, we had a plus 74 run differential, meaning that we're outscoring our opponents by 74 runs total, like in all games. Not that we're beating every team by 74 runs, but that's where our total run differential was. And we had committed 12 errors. Right now, we have a plus 6 run differential, which this weekend really put a damper on that. Obviously. And we've committed 35 errors as a team. We have already committed more errors this year than all of last year. And that was a team, one of the best defending teams in college baseball history, by the way. But yeah, that team finished dead last in the SEC. So, and we've already, 2 weekends into the year, into SEC play, we've already surpassed them in the number of errors that we make.
Yeah, it's not too good. If I'm being honest, that doesn't sound great.
Not too good, no. 209th in team ERA out of like just over 300 teams, so not great there. 225th in fielding percentage, so we give up a lot of earned runs and then commit a lot of errors, so we're giving up a lot of unearned runs as well.
It's a nasty combo.
Man, this is... we give up 55 runs on the weekend. We scored, let me do some quick math. We scored 15, I think. We got outscored by 40 runs. But gave up 55 runs. 24 of those were from starting pitchers. 31 of those were from the bullpen. In 2021, it took us 20 games to give up that many runs. The amount of runs that we gave up in 3 games to Vanderbilt. It took us 20 games in 2021. That was obviously helped out by like a 4-game shutout streak, which was nuts. But yeah, that's how much different the pitching staffs are 2 years ago to right now. This weekend, we walked 28 batters. We gave up 46 hits, and we committed 5 errors. And it truly did seem like anytime they got somebody on base, especially in the scoring position, they scored. Like they made us pay for every single mistake that we made. Anytime Enrique Bradfield Jr. got on base, like I have it down here, he got on base 10 times in the weekend, 5 on hits, 5 on walks. He scored 9 times. He's on base 10 times. He scored 9 of those. And he only stole 2 bases on the weekend. So like it was hit after hit after hit after hit. Like it wasn't like he was just manufacturing runs by himself, like stealing second, third, and then a sac fly gets him home. I mean, like he didn't have to steal. He didn't have to do anything. That's like his contribution to the team, and he didn't even have to do it to be effective. He came into the weekend with 1 home run and hit 2 of them against us. If it sounds like we're just being overly negative, how could we not be? I have a couple more things here, and then I'll let you talk. But I'm just gonna go through it. We of their 46 hits, which is ridiculous. That's a ton of hits. That's over 15 per game. 19 were for extra bases, 12 home runs, and 7 doubles. I've already talked about Enrique Bradfield Jr., but Parker Nolan is SEC Player of the Week. He had 8 hits, 3 home runs, 2 grand slams just on the Friday game, and had 14 RBIs on the weekend. Yeah, I mean, up and down their lineup. I mean, guys were getting hits. I think 6 different guys hit home runs. And
this team wasn't great offensively.
Yeah, they woke up against Ole Miss. Like they had 16 home runs going into SEC play, and now they have 19 just in the last 2 weekends. 12 of those against us. I really don't know. Like what what to say, but you want to touch on us offensively a little bit?
Yeah, we can't hit with runners on base. Like we can get them there. Like everyone knows, like we walk a lot, but we get a guy on second or first, and we're grounding out to second base. It's just that's how it is. Like I know it's like not great that they were down the whole time, but I mean at some point you still have to do offense. So
Right.
I mean being down that much, you kind of do more offense. You would assume it's not like you're actually gonna come back. But yeah. Anytime that we actually get momentum and like, okay, we got like one or two across. That's a response homer the other way.
Right.
So it's like it didn't mean anything that week. So
Yeah. And like I didn't come into this weekend expecting Vanderbilt to be bad. I mean, obviously both me and you expected us to lose this series. Neither of us predicted a sweep, but we weren't be completely shocked to like fast forward the weekend and see that we got swept again. It's just the matter of like how we got swept. Obviously, being outscored by 40 runs on the weekend is just absolutely crazy because we're 2 years removed from a team that like had that opposite mentality. Like this team just seems to fold, and the other, like 2021 team, they did what Vanderbilt did this weekend. Anytime another team got a run or two across, Tanner Allen would come up. It's always seemed like he would come up to the plate, like first or second in the next inning, and hit a response home run to like ensure that momentum did not swing too far the other way. And I don't know for Vanderbilt if it was a mentality thing for them, or I mean, our pitching probably was just that bad. Like they didn't have to have some like crazy mentality to be able to go up there and scratch another run across to cancel ours out. But I mean, it's just like we could not string together any consistent inning at all. And anytime we did get momentum, especially in the Saturday game, which was close and for the majority, I would say until the ninth inning. Obviously, they put up a 9 spot and made it 18-5. But like that game was within reach a lot of the game. And we grounded into 3 double plays in that one. I think all 3 of them inning ending. So like anytime we would get runners on base and just couldn't do anything with them. And then three times in that game, like I said, got double plays to really obviously just kill the momentum. There's just nothing that we could do.
Yeah,
all weekend.
And I mean, I guess that'll take us into like the decision making on the pitching stuff. Saturday that was winnable. Like before the 5th and 6th inning, Gartman gave us 4 strong, 1 run. I mean, heck, that from Gartman. Okay, cool. Like we're good. And even the 5th, giving up 2, like perfectly fine. But then we tried to put him out there for the 6th, and he gives up 5 runs. And at that point, it's like, okay, are we trying to win this game? Because Dom was like getting ready in the bullpen, like right before then, and then Gartman, obviously his like 4th time through the lineup, is getting touched because it's Landon Gartman, and like that's just not gonna work out. And we left him in there too late, and then we put in KC. KC is okay for like his 2 innings. We try to stretch him, and then it gets bad. And then we put in Tyler Davis. He doesn't record an out. Like,
yeah.
And then Aaron Nixon comes in to close it. Like, it's... And
we
punted on that game to win Game 3, and then didn't win Game 3. Like...
Yeah, like we saved Dom for... Dom... was available. Sierra was available. Lofton reportedly was available. I was at the game. I didn't see him go to the bullpen, but he could have just been down there for the whole game. But like, we punt on the first game, and I completely understand that because, you know, Durangelo gives up 2 home runs in the first inning. It's 3-0 3-1 going into the second inning, and they just hang a crooked number. It's 10-1 in the third inning. I, with our offensive struggles, I don't think that's a game that's within reach. So punting on that game is perfectly fine. Say whatever you want. I mean, just Jurangelo just got shelled by a really good offense. Punting on that one is something that we've seen this coaching staff do several times before, even in 2021. I mean, Friday night games just don't go your way sometimes. But
and that's understandable.
Yeah, you still have this. You still have the series. It's as crazy as it sounds. Like I went into Saturday being like, we could honestly win the series. I know 26-3 looks crazy, but I mean, we just threw freshman pitchers at that point. I mean, we didn't throw anybody out there that I had really any faith in anyway. It was odd that they gave up 26 runs, but again, I mean, we punted on the game, so I expected it. Saturday, like I said, Gartman should have come out after five innings. And if you send him out there for the sixth, great. But the second that he gets a base runner on, you have to take him out. Like, you have to. That's just, like, at that point, I could make better. And it's not even hindsight 2020. It's not a situation.
It's in the moment we were talking about.
Like, I was like, okay, why are we sending Gartman out for the sixth? He, I think, walks a batter or gives up a single or something. Okay, now you got to get him out. Lamona's still just sitting there. Knowing that we have guys up in the bullpen, he lets 5 runs come across on a couple of home runs, and I'm just like at 8-1 now. It's just kind of like it was on Friday in the third inning. Like it's a game that's out of reach when it was just 3-1.
And then we scored right after all that.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, like you said, we battled back, made it a 9-5 game. KC comes back out for a third inning. He gives up 4 runs. When we had Dom, we had Lofton, we had Sierra, we had Colby Holcomb, and obviously we saw Holcomb and we saw Dom on Sunday. So, like, obviously we were saving them for something. But, I mean, a coaching staff coming into a weekend, you can punt one game, and that's fine because as long as you think that you can, you're saving those pitchers for a good reason, right? But going into a weekend series, a home series, where you're supposed to be bouncing back from a really embarrassing weekend last weekend, and it's just like their mentality was, as long as we win one game, right? And like the cheesy like Mississippi State, it's different around here. Like, I don't think that should ever be a Mississippi State baseball team's mentality. It's like, just win one on the weekend. I legitimately feel confident, except maybe against Arkansas, just because there's some weird voodoo there. But, like, I feel confident going into every weekend until pretty much now that we can go in and win a series. I mean, it would not surprise me if we won a series against any of the team that we played last year, especially not in 2021 or years before that. But, like, now I'm surprised if we are going to go in and win one game, because our coaching staff goes in with the mentality of, well, we at least got to win one. And that's just so weak. And it was obvious from the way that the pitching was handled that that's what the coaches were thinking.
Should we get into the, I guess, maybe more egregious one that you watched firsthand?
Yeah, do you want to talk about it?
I'll lead up to the moment.
Okay.
So Nate Dom starts the Sunday game. We saved him for this. Let's get after it. Doesn't go great, to say the least. He goes 5 1/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs. But we're kind of in this one. Like, at least, like, you have to be in this one. It's all you have left. After the fourth, we're 6-3, right there. And then Jack, who comes in to pitch?
Graham Eitema.
After
his role on this team was the Saturday starter until we realized that all he does is walk hitters and give up home runs. Like, he did that against Oklahoma.
Evan Sierra was available. Colby Holcomb. available.
Like I
Bradley
can
Lofton,
understand,
available.
like I understand the thought process if they just wanted a left-handed batter or that they just wanted a left-handed pitcher. I don't know if it was for matchups or just they've been seeing this hard-throwing right-hander for 6 innings now, so now let's show them a left-handed pitcher. But if that's the case, Bradley Lofton exists and he was in the bullpen. I mean, that's what you've been working up to with Lofton. I know he has command issues, but he's a better pitcher than Graham Itema.
He's the best pitcher on our staff. He just walks some people.
Yeah. So Itema promptly walks a batter, hits a batter, and then gives up a 3-run home run. Now, instead of 6-3, like it was when Dom came in for the 6th, it's now 11-3. And once again, out of reach. And what are you going to do? Punt on this game? It's the third game of the series, and you've already punted the first 2.
So that was no fun.
And of course, after that, we see Colby Holcomb, who finishes the game strong, doesn't give up a run in how many innings?
I think 3 1/3.
3 1/3, yeah. It was obvious to me this weekend that our coaching staff had the mentality of do not get swept. And
they got swept.
They got swept. I mean, that's just total mismanagement of pitching staff. And obviously, I mean, there's some things wrong offensively too. Not an inability to string hits together is wild. I know SEC pitching staffs are crazy, but SEC hitters are supposed to be good.
And these are supposed to be really, really good.
But our hitters in 2021, our hitters in 2022, and our hitters now should never be expected to have to score 56 runs in a series to outscore an opponent. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, the offense would get us into striking distance, and heck, the starting pitchers in some way would keep us in striking distance. But I mean, Landon Gartman is just not going to be sharp a 4th time through the lineup. He's really not great 3 times through a lineup, but he did what he could. I'm not at all blaming him for what happened. Nate Dom, not a starting pitcher, and he did a fine job through 5 innings. I mean,
I wish he would have given me that 5 innings on Saturday.
Right. I mean, 6 runs through 5 innings from a Sunday starter. What the heck? I mean, that's what you expect.
And he was stringed out too long.
I know we said starting pitchers gave up 24 runs on the weekend. That's not great, but they're not really what lost us the game.
It could have been managed.
Yeah. If they had come out when they were supposed to, the series would have gone completely different. I'm not saying that we would have won this series if me or you had been the head coach, pitching coach duo. We would have gotten one.
Yeah.
And I say that.
I'm never perfect on I wouldn't have done that, but I was perfect on this week.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, it's bad. And then after that, on Monday night, Coach Lemonis had to go to walk-ons and explain what happened this weekend to people. And I didn't watch this press conference. I didn't watch Dog Talk or whatever. But I mean, that has to be tough. And
he was good on Hey Dad's show that day. He was
really?
It was a really good interview from him. So is this the part where we talk about what we should do?
I want to talk about one thing real quick. Obviously, coaching is a big thing. But another thing is, leadership from the players is obviously lacking at this point. Obviously, there could have already been some sort of players-only meeting but usually when that happens, it gets reported about from somewhere or another. We hear about it. Haven't heard about that, and I think I heard about that last year. So obviously, it doesn't always work. But I remember 2021. There was a rough patch for the team, and Tanner Allen and Riley Self just took it upon themselves. Tanner Allen said, I'll get the hitters, Riley, you get the pitchers, and we're going to get this thing sorted out. And we started playing the best baseball that we had played all year. And obviously we won a national championship that year. There's not a Tanner Allen or a Riley Self on this team, and Luke Hancock has a C on his chest to be that, and he's just not. And I think that having a captain on the team was a good idea, but he's just not the guy.
Yeah.
And just like the team took a fishing, like Lemonis gave them like 2 days to just like take a break from baseball, told them to go fishing or whatever after the SEC tournament in 21. I think this team needs to take a fishing trip.
Get the boys
maybe
fishing.
to like what?
Get the boys to go fishing.
Maybe just to like the Bermuda Triangle, and maybe your baseball season just doesn't end. Whatever.
That would be the Ole Miss way.
Yeah, right.
Ocean conditions were too bad. We didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just no. I'm getting no leadership from the coaches or the players, and that is just a bad place to be for a baseball team.
Oh yeah. I do want to talk about on the Sunday game, which at that point, didn't really matter because we mismanaged everything. Foxhall comes out to talk to Holcomb in the 9th inning, and Holcomb yells at him and basically says, "Get back in the dugout." So that was cool. And then Holcomb got out of the jam that he created because he's a big boy. He's a good pitcher. Just let him pitch. So Holcomb has gone up the power rankings of my favorite pitchers. Him and Bradley.
Right. I mean, I can understand, like, I don't really know what Foxhall even tells pitchers when he comes out to the mound, because like, what could it possibly be? I remember one time he went out to the mound for Jackson Fristow when we were playing Auburn, and we had scored like 9 runs in the first inning. So like Fristow was just playing with a 9-run lead in the second inning and just could not throw strikes. And I figured that one was a pretty heated one that was just like, can you not just throw strikes? Like, you have a 9-run lead. It doesn't matter if they hit a home run.
I've seen a Foxhall mound meeting work like 3 times, and I'm pretty sure they were all with CMAC.
Right.
It'd be like, oh, CMAC accidentally walked the bases loaded. Well,
Here
I guess he's going to have to be 3 Ks.
So yeah, I don't know what the mound meetings look like. I can obviously assume that they don't work for everybody the same way. And maybe Holcomb is just a guy that doesn't really need them or appreciate them or whatever. There's got to be a better way to convey that, because like that's not going to put him up the
they left
power
him in
rankings
there.
For them at least. But the fact that he got out of his jam after doing that does help his case a little bit, because if you do that and then get shelled, it's a bad look all around.
But he still got chewed out in the dugout after.
Well, right, because he showed up as coach. Like, yeah. I agree with that. I get that.
The coach also just mismanaged the game and made it unreachable.
He did. I get it. But
so does Foxhall make all the... Because I've heard that, like, Foxhall is, like, in charge of what pitchers come in. Like, that's not Chris's thing.
Is he in charge of when they come in too?
I believe I'm not sure on that one.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, obviously it has to go through Chris at some point, because he's the one that walks out there. But yeah, now I guess is a good time as any to get into what you think should happen. Because last week, or maybe the week before, when the question was asked, I said that my thought was that at the end of the year, Lemonis would get a chance to recreate his staff and make it work on his own. Like, get rid of Foxhall, get rid of Gaucher if he wants to. I mean, I guess Cheesebro could go too. But Lemonis should have that option. Now, I know that Vanderbilt is a good team. If they had swept us in 1, 2, 3 run games each time, and it's just, they're a better team than us, so be it. And Lemonis I'd still be on his side for the most part. Like, I'd give him a chance to fix what's gone wrong. Now I'm just like, he's got to change something drastically for me to, and other fans, to think that he has a chance to stay after this year.
Yeah.
Or stay to the end of this year. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Can we just, fire Foxhall and bring in, Riley Self as pitching coach? Unironically?
He's a pitching coach somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I mean...
why not? It's not like we're, unless, Roy Oswald will do it, I guess.
Yeah. CC Sabathia was at the games this week. Maybe he could do it.
Yeah, I don't know what we do. I don't really want Gotro, but the guys that he has brought in have been, pretty, they have potential, which is cool, but they're also young, so can't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess in all of this, I don't really know what Lemonis' role with the baseball team is.
We have been asking, what does Chris Lemonis do, ironically, for 3 years.
We were kind of early on that. He was in the dugout in Omaha, winning a national championship, and me and you were like, what
exactly does he do?
He sat on a bucket with an MLB logo on it for a couple years, and now he's upgraded to one with a Wilson logo on it.
He makes the lineups.
He at least signs them.
He goes to the little meetings over home.
Yeah, but if his job is recruiting, I guess he's done a good job. If his job is development, he's done a terrible job.
Yeah. And he's
because I to this day, I think that there's talent on this baseball team that is SEC caliber.
Well, that's why everyone's also confused about it. No one's like, yeah, we knew they were going to be this bad. But
yeah, because the returning players, Luke Hancock, say what you want. His batting average is going to be, or it's in the 300s right now, and he gets on base over half the time.
Hunter Hines is good.
Crazy good. Kellen Clark, Hunter Hines, Lane Forsythe has surpassed everybody's expectations. The returning guys are good. The freshmen are good. The transfers that we've gotten, Amani Larry and Colton Ledbetter at the top of the order, hitting over 300, they're good.
Cusack now, good.
Yeah. Drangelo has gotten hit around and shot himself in the foot in the past couple SEC weekends, but he's a freak of nature, and we know that he's going to be a good pitcher. The players that we have are good, but there's no, I don't see any urge to develop them, and their talents are not being used in the best possible way. So if I can see these things, I know that an athletic director can. And poor Zach Selman, first act as athletic director, maybe fire a head coach that brought you to your school its only national championship. That is a horrible place to be. But I don't know if things don't change, and it's just gross mismanagement of really talented players. You don't really deserve to be the head coach of the school with the best facilities in the country.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds harsh, and I never want to be the guy on Twitter or guy screaming and vocally saying that somebody should lose their job, because no other profession in the world are people screaming at you and tweeting at you like that. But
I'm pretty sure the U.S. president, Jack.
Well, yeah. But at least in that case, half the country believes that you can do no wrong. Everybody in this situation thinks that he's in the wrong.
Except for the bus driver.
Good pull there. We are a spoiled fan base for not wanting to put up with being dead last in the SEC.
Spoiled fan base. That's what Nick Saban was talking about. Don't you know Alabama was dead last in the SEC at that moment?
Don't you remember when Alabama was 0-6 in SEC play.
Of spoiled fans.
Don't you remember when Chris Lemonis won 7 national titles?
Also, why does that guy have why is his left field lounge twice as big as everyone's?
I'm sure he's been there for a while.
Apparently he said he created it.
Has some pull with athletic department.
He said he started it.
I'm sure he was out there when it was new. I don't know. I'm not against the bus driver, but
I'm against the bus driver right now.
Right now, I mean, one bad take, you know.
Also, him after the Egg Bowl win was a little weird.
What was he doing?
He said, "There's only one thing better than this, and I'm gonna get to that tonight."
Yeah, that was
that was weird from a very old man.
That was weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that.
I'm pretty sure that made Dylan Johnson transfer.
I can handle being called not tough, but I don't want to hear my bus driver allude to having sex. Anyway, this weekend was bad, and there's no other way around it. I still think that in the next 24 SEC games, that there's a chance that Chris Lemonis could get back in the good graces of at least some Mississippi State fans. Of course, you have to win at least one of the 24 games. Going 0-30 in SEC play is pretty much the kiss of death. But 1-29, is at least going 2-28 because we're winning the Ole Miss series.
Yeah,
somehow.
That's kind of crazy.
But anyway, I still think there's a chance that he'll be our coach next year. Foxhall, I don't think so. And Gotro, I think Gotro could be here. I mean, do you think that's too far off?
No,
unless the deal is just you have to clean house and start over, which I mean that's going to be tough for recruiting. So I don't think the AD is just going to put that on the table. But
have we thought about having the warrior mentality?
One thing that has to happen is we have to adopt war stick next year.
It just has to happen at this point.
And we have to start meaning it when we beat our chest with 2 strikes. I see too many guys doing it nonchalantly these days.
People forget that if Jake hits a home run in Omaha against Auburn, we lose that game.
Also, I was proud of Auburn. They did the exact same thing we did in Omaha to them. They did it to Georgia the other day.
Look at them.
Just the same.
Just hit it at the Canadian.
Sorry.
Same
exact consequences. Georgia lost the first game in Omaha, right?
This is a weird podcast.
Anyway, we won a game against Samford tonight.
We had a really bad there was a weird rundown where a runner scored from third.
We allowed a run to score?
Yeah. We had it was a Husak kind of bad throw to first. Hines doesn't catch it because he's Hunter Hines. 1 run scores, then we get in a rundown in between first and third, and then in the middle of the rundown, Hines tosses it to Larry. The guy's right next to him. There are 2 outs at this point, so he doesn't tag him, or at least he tried and he didn't. So he looks home, pauses for a second, throws home. Hancock drops it. Another run scores. So the C doesn't stand for catch.
Yeah, we ended up winning that game, but we still don't have a third baseman who can play errorless baseball.
I think
2 errors.
I think he's the move, though. I think.
Yeah,
hypothetically.
in his very limited chances at the plate, at least, he's got 2 home runs, which is more than Slade Alford and Mershon combined. So, if only for a chance of offense, Husak is the guy.
Yeah.
And he made like a really cool play when I was there on Sunday. A ball just got smoked at him, and he just smothered it. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we beat Samford tonight, so losing streak is over. The 3-game losing streak. Whew. That was one that I wasn't very excited about. I didn't really care about the Samford game. Do want to look back at at some other big games that happened over the weekend, and then we're gonna just look slightly ahead to our weekend against South Carolina. We're not gonna do a big deep dive into it just because this team doesn't really deserve that right now. But so we're gonna look at the ranked matchups and the big mid-major matchup that we had, and we talked about last week. So Arkansas, they win the weird pitchers duel on Friday. Paul Skeens went against. Do you know that Friday night starter for Arkansas?
I forgot, but it was the relief pitcher for Arkansas that made that one really good.
Right. Yeah.
Is it Hagen Smith? Hagen Smith?
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think he's a relief for them.
But Arkansas wins that one. They go to extra innings. It tied like 3-3 or something, and they ended up hanging an 8 spot.
Christian Little.
Yeah, they hit a grand slam and a 3-run home run, I think, in that 10th inning. So they win that one in a pretty lopsided extra innings win, which is weird. But then LSU outscores them 26-7 the next 2 games. So Arkansas drops the series in Baton Rouge. Moving over to the ACC, Wake Forest, they sweep Miami, and they only allow 2 runs on the weekend. So really, really strong weekend for them as the number 2 team in the country. They proved that they kind of deserved it. So shut me and you up
not
for a
frauds.
Wake Forest actually good.
That's weird.
Ole Miss sharing in our misery. They get swept by Florida. Jack Caglione hit 4 home runs to give him 17 on the year. The record for BB Core bats is 32 in a year by Ivan Melendez at Texas. It really puts to shame Brent Rooker winning a triple crown with 23 home runs in 2017.
Was the game 32 last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
The game has changed quite a bit, but hey, Brent Rooker was just here at the right time. South Carolina, they sweep Missouri to move to 6-0 in SEC play. Missouri comes off the series sweep against Tennessee and gets swept, but maybe they're just a home.
Is that the weirdest 3-3?
That is bizarre. Yeah, anybody that you ask would have said it would have been the other way around.
Or if there wouldn't be sweeps.
Yeah, if 2 sweeps were involved, obviously it would be the other way around. But yeah, I don't. That is really, really weird. So South Carolina leading the country in home runs, I think. If they are right,
yeah,
it's either them or Florida. I thought
they're number 1.
Yeah, so them and LSU seeming like the teams to beat, even though South Carolina's undefeated in SEC play and LSU's dropped one. So hot seat LSU. Tennessee sweeps A&M. They get back on track. So Missouri and Tennessee just kind of flip the results from last weekend. A&M now 1-5 in SEC play, but they have had a really tough start with 2 really good teams. And then moving out of the ranked matchups, we did have UTSA winning 2 out of 3 against Rice to move to 20-5 overall and 5-1 in Conference USA play. UTSA has moved up to number 7 in the mid-major rankings according to 11.7. Campbell still holds the top spot, I'm pretty sure, but UTSA seems to be like the front runner in Conference USA, which was kind of dominated by Southern Miss and La Tech the past couple of years. So kind of fun to see a new front runner there, but that's going to do it for the matchups from last weekend. As we look forward to this weekend, Mississippi State is going to host South Carolina, who is the best team in the SEC, arguably, best home run hitting team, and they're coming to Dudy Noble Field, which is a launch pad.
Hopefully the wind's going the other way.
You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Tennessee and LSU are playing. That's pretty
Tennessee
neat.
and LSU. That's crazy good matchup. Any other good ones?
Well, let me do a little scroll through.
Okay. So I don't really know what the expectation for this series should be. I mean, I know we just talked about how weak of a mentality it is to go in hoping you can just win one. But for coaches, I think it's unacceptable to have that. But for a podcast who can just have unbiased, realistic expectations, if we win one, I would be surprised.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with my prediction. We'll win whatever game Lofton starts.
Okay. I'm just gonna say we get swept, just in case the mojo of me saying we'll win anything is what's causing us to lose. I don't know what to expect. Like I said, I'm not going to put in the effort to look into what South Carolina's pitching looks like and whatever, just because it probably not going to end up mattering. But
wait, it's next week. Ole Miss hates. No, that's not Ole Miss hate week. Dang.
That's 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now.
That's fun.
But yeah, we have the talent to win. Pitching talent might not be there. Like we might not. I know we don't have just a crazy deep staff.
Maybe we can get.
It's
some
gonna
guys
be hard
back.
for us.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe we can get some guys back.
Maybe we can get some guys back and get a little bit more depth. Sweeping anybody is going to be hard. Just because I think morale's got to be down, and like I said, we just don't have as deep of a staff as we need to.
And this is the easy part of our schedule.
But series wins are possible, and this weekend I don't think we're going to have one. But there are series wins we can have on our schedule. As of right now, I don't think we're going to make it into the postseason, but there is a path, and it really just comes down to if our coaches can come in with a mentality of winning at all costs and managing the pitchers right. The lineup is gonna struggle, but the talent is there, and if we can fit all the pieces together and have it all working at the same time, we can beat SEC teams. So, like I said, don't think it's gonna happen this weekend, but this team is full of surprises, and giving up 55 runs on a weekend was a surprise.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't do that again.
Well,
got anything else?
No, not really.
All right. Well, like I said, we're not doing Instagram questions today just because I had a feeling that everybody that would ask one would be talking about the coaching search. So hopefully, or not coaching search, but the coaching situation, and if we have a need for a coaching search. So we will be back next week to recap the South Carolina series, and hopefully we'll have good news to bring you. But until then, this is Going for Two with Jack Taylor. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be back next time.
The after show's over.
Yeah.